The manager has removed the £20 million player from his squad after he claimed Liverpool wanted to sign him. Sheffield United midfielder Sander Berge has become a transfer favourite, amid interest from various Premier League teams, including Liverpool. After the increasing transfer news in recent days, there has been a hot development in the players' club. Sander Berge, whose name is frequently mixed in with transfer rumours, was dropped from Paul Heckingbottom's squad for Sunday's 3-3 draw with Wrexham in the FA Cup. According to the Mirror, the Reds, Chelsea and Newcastle United are interested in signing the 24-year-old before the transfer window closes on Tuesday. Fulham is currently in talks with the Blades on a potential move for the Norwegian. According to the Daily Mail, Heckingbottom attributed Berge's absence against Wrexham to circulating transfer interest that could make him think he could leave the club in the coming days. "He's not here because we were asked not to use him. Our club is talking to other clubs about him. It's a club decision to keep the asset. I won't say I agree with that, but I understand that you want to play today. Sander is happy here, but there is no clarity on the situation where we find ourselves in the middle of the takeover, the transfer embargo and which direction it's headed, and the financial issues. One way to fix problems is to sell a player. Everyone knows my thoughts on this. If the worst happens and we lose Sander, we're ready. We've worked hard to bring this squad together in terms of balance and how competitive we've made it. The simple thing for me is to hold it together, but we find ourselves in difficult times financially, and that means there may be some tough decisions to be made. I have to be prepared for what happens," he said. Berge seems to be leaving the team before the deadline. In its current form, Fulham and Liverpool are leading the race to field the Norwegian midfielder. A number of Premier League sides are considering a move for the 24-year-old. But it's Marco Silva's side that shows the strongest interest with a £20 million move. But after the loss to Brighton, it is among the news that Liverpool also started to attack. Berge has played a pivotal role in Sheffield's push for promotion this season. The Blades are currently in second place in the Championship table, 12 points ahead of playoff points. Having also spent 2 seasons at the club's top level, Berge has shown more than just his ability to adapt to the rigours of English football. Liverpool desperately needs midfielders ahead of the second half of the season. Realistically, they won't be able to sign another Premier League proven talent that won't break the bank. Therefore, with only 2 days left, Berge could be the best option for Jürgen Klopp's side. However, a move towards Anfield requires fairly quick movement. The 24-year-old midfielder scored 4 goals and made 3 assists in 19 matches in the Championship this season. Its current market value is shown as €16 million. Liverpool had the perfect opportunity to secure the ideal Roberto Firmino transfer heir in January. Liverpool is unlikely to make a move unless the right opportunity presents itself in the January transfer window. That was certainly the case for Cody Gakpo, and it may well be for any other Eredivisie star. Ajax is in a lot of turmoil right now. The Dutch Giants have sacked their manager Alfred Schreuder and are at risk of missing out on Champions League football, which would be a disastrous outcome for a club with the prestige and history of Ajax. Currently, Ajax is trailing the Eredivisie by 6 points. It's not impossible to top it, but there are 4 teams ahead of them in the race where the champions sit in 4th place at the table. Things didn't go according to plan for the Dutch side, and in this state of desperation, they may have to be cornered when it comes to transfer negotiations for one of their most exciting stars. Mohamed Kudus was the star of the World Cup in Qatar and contributed 3 goals in Ghana's 3 matches in the tournament. He produced performances of similar quality at Ajax all season long. In the club's last game, Kudus saved a point by a whisker away from recording a famous victory over Volendam, who were battling relegation against the Dutch Giants. The 23-year-old has 13 goals in 24 games for the club, averaging 1.03 goals per game. Versatile and elusive on the ball, great technique and a really smart and intelligent player, Kudus demonstrated these qualities earlier this season at Anfield, where he scored against a solid Liverpool defence. Late last year, journalist Mike Verwey revealed that Liverpool was in the race to sign the 22-year-old rising star after shining at the World Cup, and it would come as no surprise that Liverpool still retains interest in the Ghanaian despite the arrival of Cody Gakpo. Kudus is a different player. He can play on the right wing as he did for Ghana in the World Cup. However, it can also be used in the centre and even in the midfield. His offensive and midfield versatility makes him a lucrative prospect and is the type of player Liverpool could be looking for very soon. The Brazilian is unlikely to stay at Anfield for long, even if Roberto Firmino extends his current contract, which expires at the end of the season. Given his age and recent injury woes, Liverpool will have to cut ties sooner or later, no matter how long Jürgen Klopp wants to keep him. But before this happens, Liverpool need to be ready for a substitute. And Jerusalem could be the ideal heir to the throne. Liverpool may not have a better opportunity to sign up for the young player's services, given Ajax's current situation and their vulnerable position. There isn't much time left until the end of the window, but the club plans to at least test Ajax with a last-minute offer. Otherwise, summer seems like a good time for a player who would think that he will come with Ajax unless there is a miracle in the second half of the season. Already, Kudus had signaled that he would leave Ajax in his statement from the World Cup. It will likely be his last season with the Dutch team. Liverpool are considering a potential Virgil van Dijk heir. Virgil van Dijk's recent injury may have provided an opportunity to reflect on his future at Anfield. The Liverpool centre-back will turn 32 in the summer, and even an outstanding player like Van Dijk can't go on forever. It's miraculous that he's able to come back and play the way he was before his injury in the 2020-2021 season. But sooner or later, as Jürgen Klopp begins his new term at Anfield, his old guard will have to be replaced one by one with the new guard. That's just the nature of football. Teams work in cycles and cycles are short. Replacing Van Dijk will be no small feat. The Dutch international became one of the best defenders in world football during his time at Liverpool. He was insurmountable at the top and played with poise and confidence that will never be repeated at Anfield. His peak years will go down in history as one of the best in football. However, no player is irreplaceable. While Liverpool may not find the full quality or similarity of Van Dijk's heir, they are on the lookout for a competent and quality defender who can bring the same kind of characteristics to Anfield. Union Berlin's Danilo Doki has been one of the prominent signings in the Bundesliga this season. Brought in on a free transfer, Doki scored 4 goals and recorded 2 assists in just 9 Bundesliga games for Union Berlin. He made a very good scoring contribution for a centre-back. A strong and commanding defender who reads the game well, Doki is Dutch like Van Dijk. But he looks more like the Liverpool defender by inheritance. Doki has the same stance and confidence on the ball. A defender who is extremely adept at putting the ball forward and advancing it into dangerous areas. He is also strong in the air and commands the defensive line on foot. He's exactly the defender Klopp loves to have in his setup. Doki is hard to beat. According to Wiscout, he wins 70% of defensive duels and 60% of aerial battles. He can play both as a right defender and as a left defender. So Doki will bring a certain level of versatility to Anfield with it. At 24, he's pretty young for a defender. At the same age, Van Dijk moved from Celtic to Southampton before dominating the Premier League and then caught the attention of Liverpool. Doki seems to have a similar pattern, and while Liverpool isn't necessarily under pressure for a centre-back right now, he plans to make a move for the Dutch player in the future.